this like 2 years in a row you're at Cinemacon?
Yeah. I mean, I find I'm usually here, I guess, once every 2 years, but occasionally I get 2 years in a row. Actually, with Spy and Ghostbusters, it was 2 years in a row, then it was a year off, and then Simple Favor and this. So I love Cinemacon. It's one of my favorite things to come to.
I love Cinemacon too, and I mean, people here genuinely love movies because it's their entire business.
That's exactly it. And to meet the people that put your movie on the big screen is really, it's everything. And it's just fun to get to meet them and hang out with them and just talk to people that have one theater in a small town, people that own giant chains. Because without them, we are nothing.
I completely agree. And like everyone keeps saying it and it's cliche, but I fully agree. There is nothing like seeing a movie in a movie theater.
Yeah,
everyone,
Well, that shared experience, and how many decades now have they been bemoaning, it's going to be end of theaters? And it doesn't happen because somebody said to me, you say that, they go like, well, you have a stove in your kitchen, right? Yeah. Well, how come you don't eat at home every night? Well, because I want to get out of the house and go see something. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to sit in your house all the time. You have a shared experience.
Completely. So there's a lot of people that don't realize or know much about your movie. Mm-hmm. When are people going to get a trailer? Is a trailer online? Am I missing this?
No, trailer's not out. Trailer's going to come out in June, I think.
Right, so it's still very early days.
Yeah, I'm actually doing my very first test screening of the movie next week in London. But I'm only halfway through my director's cut period. I just like to do it early so I can see what I have, and then we start going, let's change this, let's take that out. But I'm feeling really good about it.
Are you showing it in London as a test screening because it takes place in London or because you're editing there?
Because we're editing there. But also it takes place in London. The movie's a real love letter to London. So figured this is kind of, let's do it there and see how it works there. Then we're going to come to LA in like a few more weeks to see what we learn from that and then do a screening here. We just keep doing it.
So this is like a film festival interview, but I will just say it like this. No one watching this interview will have seen the movie yet or knows much about it. Exactly. So talk a little bit about what the film is about, the title, who's in it, everything.
Yeah, it's called Last Christmas, and it's actually Emma Thompson co-wrote it. And it's based very loosely on the Wham song, Last Christmas. And we actually have the rights to most of George Michael's music catalog. So the movie features a ton of songs from George. And we like to call it a dramatic romantic comedy because it's about Emilia Clarke is the star, Henry Golding is one of the other stars, the leading man, and she's this woman whose life is kind of a disaster in London, and she's just kind of screwing everything up, and then she meets Henry, who's this kind of oddball guy who comes out of left field, and they just develop this strange relationship where they kind of start helping each other out, and it's just a very sweet, funny movie, but it's unexpected because there's a whole other 2 layers to it beyond the romantic comedy of it all. It's quite emotional, and it's kind of a full experience. I'm just really proud of it.
I believe, because I saw the footage here, I believe that you actually have a George Michael song that's never been released.
Yeah, we're going to have one that we have full rights to do that he was recorded. He recorded right before he passed, very sadly, and he was putting an album together, and it's an amazing song. So we have that, and then hopefully maybe we'll get another one too, because there's a few that exist, and they're all great. Because I always liked George Michael, but the appreciation I have for him now, knowing his entire body of work, and just knowing more his process, because Emma Thompson knew him, and she'd been developing this script for almost 7 years, and he knew about it back then, and she had talked to him about it. They discussed it a lot. So it's a real love letter to London. We all shot all in central London in locations that people normally don't shoot at, like right on Regent Street and in Piccadilly Circus and on the Strand and on the Embankment and Covent Garden we got to take over. So it's a real. I love London. My mom was my mom's side of the family is British, so it's really exciting to get to show off the London that I love.
So you said you're in the editing room now. How is it shaping up compared to what you thought going in? Because it's always a discovery.
Yeah, it really is, and I always like a tonal tightrope. I like to kind of challenge myself in that way, and this one, just like all the other movies, is like it's comedy, it's drama, and just finding that right mix. So that's the biggest thing we do in the editing room. But honestly, this one is really translating quite well from the page to the screen. It's such a well-written script that Emma had done that it was more kind of like, okay, I hope I don't screw it up. And these actors are so good.
Well, I believe you said during the presentation that you were thinking about something else, and then you got the script.
Yeah.
So what was the other thing that you turned?
I would never say.
Right. What was the thing that you said? Oh no, I gotta.
No, there's another one that I really liked, but sometimes there are ones you go like, oh, I really like that, but then something else pops up and you're like, oh my god, it's like falling in love, like there's certain, when you're dating, you're like, yeah, I kind of like that person, yeah, that person's nice, and then you meet the one and it's just like boom, and everything goes out of your head, and that's what this one was. I mean, reading this thing was just, from the minute I put it down and calling my wife, I'm like, yeah, you gotta read the script, it's fantastic.
You said I believe you're doing something at Netflix as well.
Yeah, a movie we just produced called Someone Great. Jen Caitlin Robinson, who did the show Sweet Vicious on MTV, she wrote this amazing script, and she wanted to direct it, and so we went to Netflix, and they said, yeah, we'd love for her to. I mean, she presented what she was going to do, a lookbook of her whole, and it was so clear that she was ready to do this, and she crushed it. And it's Gina Rodriguez, DeWanda Wise, Brittany Snow, Lakeith Stanfield, it's RuPaul.
It's a little bit of a cast.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, that's okay. It's going to land on its feet.
Yeah, and it premieres on Netflix April 19th, I think.
I have to imagine, though, that you're someone, you must get offered a lot of scripts. Like your agents must be always contacting you. Yeah. How do you know that you want to devote the next year of your life or 2 years?
It's a weird alchemy. It is kind of like dating, because you'll read ideas and you go, oh, what a great idea, or you hear about something, and then you read the script, like, oh, it's not kind of what I want it to be, but then just something blasts through. I'm always looking for genre films. Any genre I haven't done yet is really what I am always kind of drawn to do. And so, like this, I hadn't, even Bridesmaids is kind of a romantic comedy, but that's more like a female friendship.
Sure.
But I always kind of want to do like a real romantic comedy, and so this one, I was like, oh my god, this checks all the boxes, but in a way that wasn't just a standard romantic comedy. It then had this whole other second and third layer. So you kind of don't know. People always go like, what are you looking for? It's like, I'm just looking for something great. And I'm trying to write at the same time, and I got a bunch of projects I'm writing, but it's like whatever comes in first and gets my attention and my enthusiasm, that's what I take.
And also, when you have the financing.
Yeah, well, there's that.
Right.
I like making studio movies. I enjoy having a big machine behind me, for lack of a better term, and it's been really fun doing this movie with Universal, because I did Bridesmaids with them, and now I just moved my deal over to Universal. So it's really nice to be back with them. I was a tour guide at Universal Studios when I was 17 years old, and I would be on that lot going like, I wonder if any day I could ever be in showbiz where I could be on this lot. So now to go back there with a deal, it's really, really exciting.
I was going to say, I've been doing this for 14 years, and I still get a thrill walking on studio lots because I love movies, and this is where they're made.
Totally. Oh, I mean, there's nothing like a studio lot. It's just something, the history, and just seeing those sound stages, and like you go to Warner Brothers and they have like plaques that say everything that's shot in one of those. You're like, oh my god, they shot this here, and you walk in and it's like, the air in here was in that movie.
I'm curious, when you sign a deal like that at Universal, with like your deal, how does it work? Say you find a project that you really want to make. Do they sort of have to make it, or they have first right?
They have first right. It's what we call a first look deal, so we take it to them first, and then if they decide they aren't into it or would rather not, then we can take it wherever else we want. But we take it to them first, which you always want to make it for your home team. So.
Completely. Yeah. What is it like having that, and how long are you there for? Like a few years? How does that all work?
It's like a 3-year deal. Yeah. So it's fine. It's so nice to have a home. I was very lucky to have a deal with Fox for 6 years. It was really fun. But then, with the merger with Disney, we kind of weren't sure what was going to happen. And I still like to make R-rated movies, or have the ability to make R-rated movies, and wasn't quite sure if that's the direction they wanted to go or not. But I'm so grateful to any studio and any executives who take a chance on what I do.
No, completely.